Today, we're going to be upgrading the memory in my son's Dell G15 gaming laptop. We ended up getting the memory for this project from Amazon and went with 16 gigabyte modules. I'll leave links in the description below, but if you're going to do a project like this, make sure that you research and get the right memory. Not all memory is created equal, especially for Dell computers. They need a special kind of memory to work right. Another thing I want to mention is that I am not a professional computer technician anymore. I'm offering this video just for entertainment purposes, so if you're going to be doing something like this on your own, make sure that you get some help if you need it.
Don't get my help.
Anyway, let's bring the computer... Camera. Anyway, let's bring the camera in a little closer so you guys can see what we're about to do.
The magical stuff.
The first thing we need to do is flip the computer over so we can access the bottom. There's 8 screws that hold the bottom panel of the computer on. 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. We want to remove the outer screws first because the inner screws are sort of captive and will help to pop the bottom of the computer apart once they're loosened. Now that the outer screws are removed and these 4 are disengaged, we should be able to start popping the cover off. I use a small flat blade screwdriver to get in the seam and help kind of pry everything up, but I'll go slow and gentle to make sure I don't break anything. Over on this side, there's a little clip that we need to kind of pull up on before we can pull this the rest of the way off.
Oh, that's what that's for.
Now, before we do anything else in the computer, I'm going to disconnect the battery. That way, if we drop any tools or other parts in here, nothing can accidentally short out if it's energized. So I'm just going to grab these 2 ears and I'm going to gently work this cable out of its connector. Now that we've got the battery disconnected, we can change the memory. But before I do, I just want to mention that the stuff inside of here is static sensitive. So you want to be careful and try and not touch anything that you don't absolutely have to touch. Now ideally, I should be wearing a wrist strap and have a proper grounding system. I don't have all of that, so I'm just going to be very careful in changing these memory modules. So this computer's memory slots are located here, and as you can see, there's only one memory module loaded in right now.
Equivalent to 8 gigabytes.
So to remove this one, all I have to do is gently pull out on these 2 tabs, and the module should pop right up. And now I can gently remove it and set it aside. So here's a look at one of the new modules that we're going to install. If you want to learn more about these, there will be a link in the description below. So I've got the new memory module and I'm about to install it in the slot. I want to make sure that the offset side of the slot lines up with the tab that's in the socket. Then I'm going to gently guide it into the socket and seat it down in until it sort of clicks in place. Then I'll gently push it downward and snap it in. To make it easier to install the second one, we're going to spin the computer around. We're going to lift this flap up out of the way so that the socket is exposed. Now it's going to go in at an angle, so kind of push it up at an angle and then push it in at the angle. You'll kind of feel it work its way in.
Think it's in?
Does it feel in? No,
no.
Okay, there you go. Now just push it gently straight down and it'll click in. There you go. Now that we have both of our memory modules installed, we can reconnect the battery. We'll just take the connector and gently insert it into its receptacle. Now there's a plastic tab on this connector, and I'm going to use this screwdriver to gently push on that to get it seated. Now we can reinstall the bottom cover. I'm going to kind of slide it in so the tabs lock under the frame of the computer, and then we'll snap it in place. Now at this point it'll only snap in so far because of these 4 captive screws. Once we get it seated down as far as it goes, we can tighten these back up. And as these screws tighten up, the cover will start to snap into place. Now that those 4 screws are tightened up, I can bring in the 4 loose ones and get those tightened back up. So we've got the computer fired up, and right when it boots up it first complains about the time of day not being set. We're just going to click continue and let it boot the rest of the way. Now I'm going to start Task Manager so that I can verify that the memory has been installed and is being registered by the computer. So in the Task Manager panel, I'll go over to the Performance tab, and then I'll click on Memory. And you can see up here in the top right corner, we're registering 32 gigs total. And right now we are using about 5.6 gig. So it looks like our memory upgrade was a success. Everything is working great on the computer now. If you want to do a memory upgrade on your computer, make sure you research and get the right memory modules for your application. But if you want to learn more about the ones we used in this video, there will be a link in the video description. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.